for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't already. Today, I'll be telling you the story of Max Einstein, the Genius Experiment, Book 1 of the Max Einstein series. This series is the umbrella of 4 books in the whole series. Max Einstein, the Genius Experiment, Book 1. Book 2, Rebels with a Cause. Book 3, Saves the Future. And last but not least, Book 4, World Champions, a Max Einstein adventure. But today, I will mainly be telling you the story about Max Einstein, the Genius Experiment. And in this book, she collaborates with people from all around the world. And those kids are around her age. Siobhan, she's from Ireland. She loves helping people. Klaus, a sausage lover from Poland. He's into robotics and AI, artificial intelligence. Keto, a computer scientist from Oakland, California. He loves hacking and getting to do anything that has to do with computers or computer science. 4. Toma, a boy from China who loves astronomy. He'll do anything that has to do with astronomy. Hannah, a girl from Japan who studies botany. She only eats plants, even for breakfast. She's vegetarian as well. Annika, a girl from Germany. She is obsessed with having to do with stuff having to do with anything, basically, that has to do with biology. Tisha, a girl from Kenya. Her father is one of the richest people there, but that has nothing to do with her being on the CMI, the Changemakers Institute team. She's into lab experiments. And last but not least, we have Vihan. He has a PhD at age 13 into quantum mechanics, and he teaches in Mumbai, India. And Max, the brains of all. She is the leader of the CMI team. Now let's get started with the story. Max Einstein isn't your typical 12-year-old. She goes to college at the New York University. Can you believe it? She talks with her hero, Albert Einstein, as well, in her imagination. She dreams about it, has nightmares about it. She has everything about it. And she is so well inspired by him. She is homeless, and she lives in the stables illegally, not even given permission by the owner, with her friends Miss Rabinowitz, Pablo, and Mr. Kennedy. Those are the few. One day, she thinks of an idea of finding a way to tell the owner why they deserve to live at the stables. She has an experiment having to do with cow manure. And Mr. Kennedy is already freaked out because she's talking about it at 6 a.m. in the morning. And then she thinks maybe I'll tell him after school since he's not listening. But on her way to the university, she gets kidnapped by a group called the Corp. And she is taken to a foster care where she is told that she has to go to a normal middle school since she's 12. And she tries to think of an excuse to not go, but it doesn't work. And she is having the worst time at middle school until she is thankfully saved by 2 people named Charles and Isabel. They adopt her from the agency, and the woman has no idea who they are. And so, when the corp asks, "Where is Max?" they say, the lady says, they just left and she was adopted by 2 people. And so, the corp gets frustrated, really mad, and as Charles and Isabel save her, they say, "We can quickly stop by and eat restaurant." And they go to this Chinese restaurant, and Max orders tons of food, and they're like, I think you've ordered enough for all of us. When Max says, do you guys want anything? And then Max is like, no, this is for my friends at the stables. Pablo, Mrs. Robinowitz, and Mr. Kennedy, of course. And so when they go there, they get to have their food, and like 30 minutes later, the corp arrives at the stables, and Mr. Kennedy's breath smells like soy sauce and kimchi and all that. So the corp tugs on Mr. Kennedy's shirt and says, where's Max? And he says, I don't know. And then they say, where is Max? Then he says, she was taken with his long lost uncle. And then the corp said, okay, where are they headed? And then Mr. Kennedy says, I have no idea. And then they say, you better tell us or we'll never let go of you. We'll kidnap you and all that. And then he thinks of an excuse. Oh, I know where they're going. They're going to Milwaukee. And then the corp says, thank you for your time. Remember, if we don't find Max, and even though we don't find her in Milwaukee, we'll always be able to find you. So they drive off, and Mr. Kennedy's like, back to my noodles. So they go on a plane to Jerusalem, where they have a test with all the other 9 students that I mentioned before, including Max, where all their like description is, and Max never got a description since she was the new person. So they have a test which said it will take approximately 8 hours to finish, but shockingly, Max finishes it in 20 minutes. And Miss Copeland, the leader of the test and the person who's in charge of the CMI, says, you're already done, Max? And Max is like, yeah, super easy. But she only answered the 2 most important questions, which were built up of the other 48 questions given that she did not answer. So when the results come in, they have a talk with Max and says, why didn't you answer the other questions? And Max explains calmly in a chill voice, saying, the other questions are built up by those 2 questions given in the last. So what's the point of answering the other questions? And they're like, well, why didn't you answer? And then Max was like, it's fine, you can ask me any question. I memorized the whole thing. And so they ask, what's question 17? Max answers, and they're completely shocked. And they're like, after a while, they announce the winner. And Max becomes the leader of the CMI, and the other kids were supposed to fly out. And Max met her team of adults, and they all had the departments of the kids younger. And Max was like, why can't we have the kids as my team? And they're like, the people are like trying to find an excuse to make sure she doesn't like change her mind. And they're like, but they're children. And then Max is like, exactly. Children with children make an amazing. And her speech even failed because she didn't like her team. And she didn't mean it in an offensive way. So all the teammates are back, and they think of solving like solar panel crisis in Africa. And in Kenya, where Tisha is. And before they do that, they go on a trip to the archives. Max goes with Anika, and they kind of are about to get caught by the corp, but they are able to manage to run away. And then they go on a flight to Kenya. And so they try different ways to fix it. They fix a doctor's home first. They fail. But then Claus and Vihan get kidnapped by a betrayer, Yahab, the bus driver of those people. And so they find out that he's working for the corp, and Isabel finds out because he put a tracker in Max's suitcase. And so they go after it and they say Kabbalah to Kabbalah, an evil person that reformed, saying that he used to work for the Corp, and he even agreed that Dr. Zim was a terrible person. And Max was like, I'll help fix your home if you just help us. And they have a deal. And then they get caught by the Corp again. And Dr. Zim says, if you come with us, I'll tell about your past. And Max is like making a hard decision, and everybody looks at her worried. And then Max is like, no thanks, I just want to learn about the future. And then Dr. Zim is like shocked and mad, and he just flies away out of the helicopter. And so once they go back and they have a celebration because they're able to fix the solar panels after taking forever to, and fix it, the problem, because of the global heat warning there. It's really hot there. And then Max was like, I don't have a family. And then Charlie and Isabel said, you're our family. And then Charlie and Isabel also explained that the benefactor had a surprise for her. And when the benefactor came, Max found out he was only 12 years old, and he was an orphan as well, and that's one of the reasons he liked Max a lot. So he leads her to their new apartment, which was a complete surprise, and she says, what about the stables, and what about my friends? And then the benefactor said, don't worry, we found them nice apartments as well, on me. And when Max worries that Dr. Zim would find her, he was like, let them try. We have 24-hour surveillance cameras and a maximum security prism and a lot of gizmos and all that. And Max was like, really? And then he was like, nah, I'm just joking around. But I do like upgrading the system. And then Max sees her new apartment, a lot of good stuff there. So much pretty stuff and all that. And Max is like, thank you, Ben. And Ben's like, you're welcome, not really a hugger. And then she's like, sorry. And then he's like, it's okay. And then he says, are you ready for your next mission? And then Max is like, more than ready. And then he's like, it's a tough one. No one has ever solved it. And Max is like, I'm ready for it. So that is the end of the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, as I said in the beginning. And stay tuned for the other books upcoming. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.